Hi guys, how are you? I just wanted to jump on here real quick and share with you guys something that has been on my heart, something that I feel like, I'm in the middle of right now, something that is really important to be shared, that people don't talk about enough, and that is the daunting breakups, right? Like the failed relationships, all of that stuff that comes along with it. And I'm in the heat of it right now. But I felt like that makes it even more relevant for me to jump on here and share with you guys some of the things that I've learned along the way, some of the things that have drastically changed in regards to my life and how I handle adversity back then versus now. I've come a long way in a lot of different areas of my life, but I feel like being in the middle of this right now has really shown me how far I've come in some of these areas. And so therefore I was like, I should probably just jump on and share, because who knows who that might help and who it might touch. So for those of you guys that don't know me and don't know my backstory in regards to relationships and just my story, I've been through a lot. And I feel like, it's all been for my benefit in one way or another. But my relationship history, I'm not going to get into all that stuff, but it's been a rocky road for me since, I'm 30 years old now and obviously single again. But it is what it is. And I feel like, I've been through some really, really tough stuff. Like I've been through an abusive relationship. I've fled abuse. I have been in a very healthy relationship that taught me what that's like. But then for that to have kind of fallen apart, really unexpectedly, trying to date again when you're late 20s. I've just been through. And along the way, I've learned so much about myself. I have used it as a great learning opportunity. And, this one sucked. And this was one that I was super ready for. So I felt like it was a little bit different for me. But I could feel bad for myself, you guys. And that's a really easy thing to do at a time like that. Or I can fucking move forward, right? Like I can keep using my story to help other people, impact other people's lives. And this is just another page in my story and another stepping stone on my journey. And I don't plan to sit here and dwell on things that I can't control. And that's kind of my outlook on life in general, like control what you can control, but when you can't, let it go. And it brings me no closer to the life that I want to live if I just sit and dwell on the things that I have zero control over. Over time, I've really learned to believe, to my core, which is a lot of personal development, you guys. This is not just me just miraculously becoming a better person or a, more well-rounded person. But I believe to my core that life is rigged in my favor, right? I know that it sounds super crazy if you guys know a little bit more of the details of kind of my past. But I truly believe that God's hand is in all of what I've gone through in my life. And I find meaning in the struggle. And if you can find meaning in the struggle that you go through in your life, you guys, that's where the magic happens. That is where the magic happens if you can find the meaning in it. And I know that when you're in the rut of it and you're dealing with all that really heavy stuff, and I know that my heavy stuff can't always compare to other people's heavy stuff. People go through some stuff. I'm not trying to compare. But if you can find meaning and purpose and learn whatever you can from the struggle that you go through, that's where the magic happens. And the things that I've gone through in my life have shaped me and has helped me to become the person that I am today, because I've chosen to use that as a learning experience. I've chosen to be able to use pull for anything that I can learn out of it, and switch that around. So you guys, you just have to switch your mindset around all the tough stuff and learn to love yourself. You have to learn to love yourself no matter what your life situation is. And I changed that mindset from to if losing somebody means that I'm losing somebody that doesn't respect me or appreciate me, then truthfully, that's a blessing, you guys. Because if you're single, if you're listening to this or whatever, or if you've been through some rough stuff, you know that you probably have a really good idea of the kind of person that you want to be with, the ideal person, right? And I'm sure somebody who respects and appreciates you checks some boxes, right? So you have to know that if that person that you just lost or the relationship that didn't work out, if that was somebody who didn't love and respect you, then it's a blessing that they've kind of moved off to the side, right? You wish them well, but it's the whole bless and release. So the people that are quick to walk away were the ones that never intended to stay. And it's hard to think about it that way, but I mean, I always just try to find the blessing in it, that maybe they're a great person, but they're not my person, because my person will stick it out and my person will stay no matter what is going on. And I just see so many people that are in their 20s and I guess I'm 30, so in their 30s too, attaching their worth to their relationship status. You guys, it's got to stop. It has got to stop, because we have to stop obsessing over finding someone and get out there and become your amazing ass self, the best version of you. Learn to love yourself, and somebody worthy is going to come along. And in the meantime, be happy and live your best life, because what if your future husband, your whomever, your person you're not going to meet them for 5 years? How are you going to spend those next 5 years? Are you going to, be drowning in self-pity that you aren't, in comparison to wherever your friends are in their life? That sounds horrible. Like, get out there and live your life, and don't waste time thinking about what could have been or whatever, because that doesn't benefit you. And, so get out there and have fun and live your life, go after your dreams, and know that as you're becoming your best self, the right person is going to come along and they'll meet you when you're ready. I feel like everything has their timing, and I feel like with this especially, I was never ready back then, when I was going through all that stuff. I wasn't the person that I needed to be ready for the kind of relationship that I wanted, right? Like I needed to grow, I needed to be shaped, I needed to be formed. And yeah, that may have looked really rough and maybe more rough than I think it needed to be, but it shaped me into the person I am, and it allowed me to become stronger. And I think it is just so important that you guys remember that your worth is not determined by a relationship status. It's not determined by how many kids you have, the house you live in. It's what you guys have inside. Like, it is not determined by any of that. And that was a hard thing for me to separate myself from. As I was going through my middle 20s, I watched all of my friends. I was in almost all of their weddings. Like that whole, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Like, that was my life. Like, I was in so many weddings, and obviously super, super happy for them. But a part of me felt like something was wrong. Something was missing. And it wasn't until I was able to become my whole version all on my own that I realized that my story just looks different than everybody else's, like all my friends. And that's okay. Like, that is not something to be ashamed of. It doesn't make me less worthy. That doesn't make, whatever. Like, I am whole all on my own, regardless of what my relationship status looks like, or if I don't have kids, or if, people are in different situations. Like, our stories are unique and individual to us. And they're all beautiful, and you are freaking beautiful and worthy and loved and enough and absolutely irreplaceable, and you're whole all on your own. And it's time that so many more women start realizing that. And some things that you need to never do, like if you are watching this and maybe you haven't done all the personal development and all of that, but never under any circumstances fight to create a spot in somebody's life who doesn't want you there. Try to convince people of your worth, allow somebody to make you question your own worth, or beg for acceptance and love. You guys, that's not the recipe for success when it comes to relationships. Have enough self-love to know that you're not going to settle for stuff like that, right? You deserve the freaking world, and you don't deserve to be in a situation where you are forced to try to force yourself into somebody's life, that's not healthy. It's not okay. That is not, oh my gosh, just don't allow yourself to do that. Love yourself enough to allow yourself to be single and develop yourself into becoming the best version of you, so that whenever, your knight in shining armor comes along, you're dang well ready, right? You have become the absolute best version of yourself so that you're ready for what's going to come your way. And the last thing I want to leave you guys with is that you are a fucking unicorn, and don't let anybody convince you otherwise. And people are morons if they miss out on the beauty that is you. So I hope you guys are having an amazing night. Tag your friends in here if they might need to hear it, or if it spoke to you, feel free to message me. I'd love to chat with you more. And at the end of the day, we all go through some shit, but nobody said that we need to go through that shit alone. All right. I'll talk to you guys later.